Pesach, the last day, the seventh day of Pesach. What was going on so many years ago in Egypt is that as we were running away from Egypt, we came to a spot where to the right of us were wild animals, to the left of us were wild animals, in front of us was a raging sea, and behind us was Pharaoh and his soldiers coming chasing after us. What did the people do? They started to scream. They cried out to Hashem. They screamed. Moshe starts screaming, and Hashem, God turns to them and says, "Why are you screaming at me? Put forth your staff, split the sea, and let them jump in and cross." So a couple questions here we have. Number one is, wait a minute, what do you mean, why are we screaming? They were behind us, this was to the right of us, this was to the left of us, what are we else? We're supposed to scream. No, when you're in a panic, when you're in a situation where you don't know what to do, shouldn't you just scream? And another question is asked is that as they were crossing, they went through dry land. They went back to where they were, but they got to the other side, let's say, where they were. They did sort of like a half circle. What happens as they were going in, Pharaoh and his army was chasing after them, and as they walked, the sea came crashing in Pharaoh and killed all of the soldiers. When the Jews looked at this, what did they do? They started to sing. What did they do? They sang a song, a shir. Kiryat Yam Suf, we sang the shira. Now, here they were singing before they were screaming. Remember that. Second thing is why now they start singing? Like, why didn't they sing on the way when they were leaving Egypt? We at Leila Seder, we start singing songs. We sing all kinds of songs, and here we are now. We're singing to Hashem, and what are we singing? It says that the people sang, and now ve'aminu b'Hashem b'moshavdo. Now the people believed in Hashem. They had emunah in Hashem and His servant Moshe. But there's another question here: is before. It says that we did believe in Hashem. We had emunah Hashem. We were redeemed on the emunah of coming out. We did the Korban Pesach. We put the blood on our doorstep. We listened. We left. That wasn't emunah? So, Netivot Shalom brings that when we were in Egypt, actually, there was an emunah. What was it? It was the emunah of the moach and the emunah of the lev. It was the emunah of the mind and the emunah of the heart. Meaning, they could understand that there was a God and that He was in charge of everything and He was watching over and performing all these miracles for them. They felt excitement about it. They could feel this love, but there was something missing. When they got to that point where they started to scream, because what were they lacking? They were lacking is emunah of the goof. Of every single one of their body parts, it wasn't involved in this emunah. It was like it was detached. So therefore they had to jump in and cross the sea. Once they saw everyone, all their enemies were dead, and once they fully and completely had emunah, then what happened? They started to sing. So what's a shira? What's a song? I was thinking that a song, actually, in order to sing, you really need a lot of breath. You need to use your breath. Song doesn't come out. A professional singer, what are they really learning? They're learning actually how to breathe. When you're screaming, it says in Egypt, they had kotzer ruach. They had a shortness of breath. They couldn't breathe. They were so much anxiety. They were so much stress. They were in so much slavery. They were so stuck that it was just a scream that could come out. When a person is feeling like, I'm stuck, I can't do anything, all I can do is scream, they're not breathing. They're not in touch with themselves. They're not in touch with their bodies. They're not in touch with their breath. The moment that they came to this with complete and total emunah, believing in Hashem 100% fully, with the mind, with the heart, and with totally the body, they jumping into the sea of emunah, then they were able to sing. What was that? Again, it's the breath. When a person can tap into their neshima, to their breath, what are they tapping into? The neshama, their soul. Each time we find ourselves in a situation which is just so hard, but we feel like we're either trapped, we feel like enslaved, we feel like we're suffocating, we feel like we just can't anymore. That scream, that primordial scream that comes out of us is one way of connecting, but there's another way of connecting, which is with the breath, which is with the soul, which is with every single part of your body, where you sometimes just don't know what to do. But if you can actually take a deep breath, you close your eyes, you take a deep breath and you tap into your neshama by breathing, then actually you can start to sing, you can start to see a different perspective, you can start to look behind you and see all the yeshuot, all the salvations that happen, you can start to sing about all the praises and gratitude to Hashem. With that, our pre-Shvi Shel Pesach meditation, we're going to take a deep breath as we close our eyes. Sit yourself comfortably or lie down on the floor. In the midst of preparing for this last chag, getting ready, you can take a moment to breathe. With each one of your body parts, you can just let go and relax each muscle, taking a deep breath in and tapping in, tuning into yourself, tuning into your neshima, to your breath, tuning into HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to Hashem, to God, and to your soul. As you take a breath, let each breath be a breath of light, shining Emunah into each and every one of your body parts. You shine Emunah into your toes as you take a deep breath, and you exhale out any of that screaming, that darkness, that shortness of breath. You take a deep breath in, tapping into the breath and Emunah of the whole entire foot, going to the ankle, taking deep breaths in, breathing into the calves and into the knees and to the thighs. We're inhaling light and Emunah. We're exhaling darkness and certainty and fear. We're taking deep breaths in, shedding light and Emunah into our pelvic region, tapping into our internal organs, our stomach, tapping into our back, letting the Emunah wash over you, letting it relax each one of the muscles, letting it let go, letting it surround you and feel yourself completely and totally surrounded with Hashem, connected with mind, body, and soul. Breathing into your chest, let it expand with the breath into your heart as it beats blood into every single one and part of your cells and your body parts. Breathing in Emunah into your shoulders as you drop them and just let them go. You're taking a deep breath of Emunah and letting it shed over into your arms, your shoulders, your forearms, your elbows, your wrists, your hands, opening up for the light of the Emunah of connecting with Hashem with each and one of your body parts. Taking a deep breath and letting the Emunah go to your neck as it expands. That passageway which is so narrow but between the mind and the heart, the passageway of Emunah, which connects us, which makes us be able to be flexible, to see different perspectives, to know that even when I look to the right and I feel like there's nothing, I look to the left, there's nothing, I look behind me, there's nothing, but if I look in front of me, pininut, if I get into the face in the front and I look inside myself and I look inside and tap into my neshama, there's where to go. Taking a deep breath in, spreading light and Emunah into your face as you take a deep breath and you're smiling, feeling yourself completely, totally surrounded by, from the bottom all the way to the top, to the eyes, to the forehead, in a hug, embracing Hashem. As when you feel like everything's raging, you must knowing that Hashem in 1 second could split that sea, you can walk through dry land and get to the other side. Chag Sameach.